Do you ever feel like your emotions control you instead of you controlling them? One moment you're calm, and the next you're stressed, angry, or completely overwhelmed. Imagine what your life would look like if you could master your mind and stay in control no matter what life throws at you. In this video, I'm going to share 15 powerful tips that will help you control your thoughts, balance your emotions, and finally take charge of your life. First, practice deep breathing. Have you ever noticed how your breathing changes when you are angry, nervous, or stressed? Your breath becomes shallow, quick, and uneven. This is because your body enters a fight or flight mode, preparing you to react quickly. While this response can be useful in real danger, it often gets triggered in everyday situations, like an argument, a difficult decision, or even heavy traffic. The problem is, when your breathing becomes shallow, your brain receives less oxygen, making it harder to think clearly. That's when emotions start controlling you instead of the other way around. Deep breathing is one of the most powerful yet simple tools to regain control of your mind and emotions. It acts like a reset button for your nervous system. When you slow down and take deep, steady breaths, you send a message to your brain that you are safe. Your heart rate lowers, your muscles relax, and your thoughts become calmer. In other words, deep breathing brings both your body and mind back into balance. One of the easiest techniques is the 4-7-8 method. Here's how it works. 1. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. 2. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. 3. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 to 5 times. Within just a few minutes, you'll feel a wave of calm washing over you. Deep breathing also improves your emotional control in stressful moments. Imagine you're about to speak in public, and your hands are shaking. Instead of letting fear take over, pause and focus on your breath. By controlling your breathing, you send oxygen to your brain, allowing you to think more clearly and speak with confidence. Another benefit of deep breathing is that it reduces negative emotions like anger, anxiety, and sadness. For example, when someone says something hurtful, your first instinct might be to snap back. But if you take just 1 or 2 slow, deep breaths, you give yourself space to respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. This small habit can save relationships, prevent regretful words, and give you emotional strength. Deep breathing is also a natural healer for your body. It improves blood circulation, lowers blood pressure, and boosts your immune system. That's why many doctors and therapists recommend it for people dealing with stress, depression, or insomnia. It's free, it's simple, and it works anywhere, whether you're sitting at your desk, lying in bed, or standing in a crowded place. To make it a daily habit, set aside at least 5 minutes every morning to practice deep breathing. Close your eyes, sit comfortably, and focus only on your breath. Think of it as mental exercise, just like going to the gym is physical exercise. The more you practice, the stronger your emotional control becomes. In short, deep breathing is not just about air entering your lungs. It's about training your mind to stay calm, clear, and powerful in any situation. When you control your breath, you control your emotions. And when you control your emotions, you control your life. Second, pause before reacting. Have you ever said something in anger that you later regretted? Maybe you shouted at a loved one, sent a harsh message, or made a decision too quickly. In the heat of the moment, emotions can feel stronger than reason. Our brain pushes us to react instantly, without giving us time to think. But often, those quick reactions create bigger problems. That's why one of the most powerful habits you can build is learning to pause before reacting. The pause is like a small but powerful shield. It creates space between what happens to you and how you respond. Think about it. When someone insults you, your natural instinct might be to insult them back. But if you take even a few seconds to pause, breathe, and reflect, you gain control over yourself. Instead of adding fuel to the fire, you give yourself the chance to respond with wisdom. Psychologists call this technique response delay, and it is one of the key skills of emotional intelligence. When you pause, you are not suppressing your emotions. You are simply giving them time to settle so that your reaction comes from calmness rather than chaos. Here's a simple way to practice it. 1. Notice your trigger. The moment you feel anger, sadness, or irritation rising, become aware of it. Awareness is the first step. 2. Pause. Count slowly to 10, or take 2 deep breaths before saying or doing anything. 3. Ask yourself a question. Is what I'm about to say helpful or harmful? Or will I regret this later? 4. Choose your response. Instead of reacting emotionally, decide on a response that aligns with your values. This small practice can change your life. Imagine you're in an argument with your spouse or friend. Without a pause, angry words may fly, and those words can't be taken back. But if you pause, even for a few seconds, you may choose to listen instead of shouting, or to walk away instead of escalating. That pause protects the relationship. The pause is also powerful in decision-making. For example, when you're tempted to make an impulsive purchase, pause and ask yourself if you really need it. When you feel like quitting a difficult task, pause and remind yourself of your goals. By adding that short gap, you allow reason to speak louder than emotion. Even great leaders and thinkers have used the power of the pause. Abraham Lincoln once wrote angry letters to his generals, but never sent them. He would write them, pause, and later destroy them when he calmed down. That pause saved him from making decisions he might regret. Pausing does not make you weak. It makes you wise. It shows strength, patience, and maturity. The world is full of people who react quickly, but very few who respond thoughtfully. By mastering the pause, you separate yourself from the crowd. In short, pausing before reacting gives you control. It saves relationships, protects your peace, and helps you make better decisions. Next time emotions rise, remember, your power lies in the pause. Third, challenge negative thoughts. Our minds are powerful, but sometimes they work against us. Negative thoughts often sneak in without warning. I'm not good enough. I always fail. Nobody cares about me. These thoughts feel real, but most of the time, they are simply distortions created by fear, past experiences, or self-doubt. If left unchecked, they can control our emotions, drain our energy, and stop us from living fully. That's why learning to challenge negative thoughts is one of the most important skills for emotional control. The first step is awareness. Many people don't even notice how harshly they speak to themselves. Pay attention to the words in your head. Would you say those words to a close friend? If the answer is no, then why say them to yourself? Once you catch a negative thought, don't just accept it, question it. Here's a simple method. 1. Identify the thought. Example: I'm a failure. 2. Examine the evidence. Is this thought completely true? Can you find real proof? One mistake does not make you a failure. 3. Look for balance. Ask yourself, what is another way of seeing this? Maybe instead of I'm a failure, you can say, I failed this time, but I can try again and improve. 4. Replace the thought. Turn it into a statement that is both realistic and encouraging. I am learning. I'm stronger than before. This practice doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means seeing situations clearly and refusing to let exaggerated negativity take control. For example, if you lose a job, your mind might scream, I'll never find another one. Challenge that. Is it true? No. Many people lose jobs and find better ones. The truth is, this is a setback, but I can find a new opportunity. Challenging negative thoughts also changes how you feel about yourself. Imagine a student who thinks, I'm stupid, I'll never learn English. If he keeps repeating this, he'll lose motivation. But if he questions the thought and replaces it with, learning a language is hard, but with practice, I'll improve, his emotions shift from hopelessness to determination. This habit takes time, but the more you practice, the stronger your mind becomes. Think of your brain like a courtroom. Your negative thoughts are the prosecutor, always accusing you. But you also need to be the defense lawyer, asking for proof and presenting another side of the story. Over time, this practice builds resilience. Life will always bring challenges, but your mind decides whether those challenges break you or make you stronger. By questioning negativity, you open the door to hope, courage, and solutions. Remember, your thoughts are not always facts. They are often just stories your mind tells you. You have the power to rewrite those stories. When a negative thought appears, don't let it take control. Stand up, challenge it, and replace it with truth. In short, controlling your emotions begins with controlling your thoughts. And controlling your thoughts begins with this simple skill. Never believe everything you think. Challenge it first. Fourth, use visualization. Your mind is like a movie screen. It plays images, memories, and dreams all the time. The problem is, when we are stressed or worried, our brain often plays the wrong movie. We imagine failure, embarrassment, rejection, or worst-case scenarios. These negative images trigger fear and anxiety, even before anything happens in reality. That's where visualization becomes a powerful tool. Instead of letting your mind scare you, you can train it to empower you. Visualization is the practice of creating positive mental images of what you want to feel or achieve. Athletes, leaders, and successful people around the world use it every day. Why? Because the brain doesn't fully know the difference between imagination and reality. When you imagine something vividly, your brain acts as if it's already happening. That means you can practice success in your mind before it happens in real life. For example, imagine you are preparing for a big presentation. If you keep picturing yourself forgetting your words or being laughed at, you'll feel nervous and shaky. But if you close your eyes and visualize yourself standing tall, speaking clearly, and receiving applause, your brain builds confidence. When the real moment comes, you'll feel more ready because your mind has already rehearsed success. Here's a simple way to practice visualization. 1. Find a quiet place. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. 2. Picture your goal. See yourself in the situation you want, calm, confident, and successful. 3. Engage your senses. Imagine the details, the sound of people clapping, the feeling of confidence in your body, the smile on your face. 4. Repeat daily. The more often you visualize, the stronger your mental programming becomes. Visualization is not magic. It doesn't replace effort, but it prepares your mind for success. Athletes often say they won the game in their head before they ever stepped on the field. Muhammad Ali used to say, "If my mind can conceive it, and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." This tool also works for emotional control. Imagine you're about to enter a stressful situation, like a difficult conversation. Instead of obsessing over what could go wrong, visualize yourself staying calm, listening carefully, and responding wisely. By rehearsing this calm image, you reduce fear and gain control over your emotions when the real moment comes. Visualization can also help in healing and relaxation. Picture yourself in a peaceful place, a beach with soft waves, a quiet forest, or a mountain sunrise. As you visualize, your body responds as if you are really there, releasing stress and creating peace within you. The truth is, we are all visualizing all the time, either negative or positive. The key is to choose the movie playing in your mind. Don't let fear direct the script. Instead, take control and visualize the outcome you want. In short, visualization is not just daydreaming, it is mental training. It sharpens your focus, boosts your confidence, and calms your emotions. When you see success in your mind, you prepare yourself to live it in reality. 5th, stay present, mindfulness. Most of our emotional struggles come from two places, the past and the future. We replay painful memories, mistakes, or regrets from the past, and we worry about what might happen in the future. The mind jumps back and forth like a restless monkey, never sitting still. But life is happening only in one place, the present moment. Learning to stay present, also known as mindfulness, is one of the most powerful ways to control your mind and emotions. Mindfulness means paying full attention to what is happening right now, without judgment. It's about noticing your breath, your surroundings, your feelings, and your thoughts, but not letting them drag you away. Imagine you are eating an apple. If your mind is lost in worries, you won't even taste it. But if you are mindful, you will notice its sweetness, its texture, the simple joy of the moment. That's the difference mindfulness makes. It turns ordinary moments into experiences of peace. When you live in the present, your emotions become easier to manage. Anxiety comes from imagining the future, and sadness often comes from clinging to the past. But in the present, most of the time, you are actually safe. Right now, in this second, there is no danger. Focusing on the now gives your mind space to rest. Practicing mindfulness is simple, but it requires consistency. Here are a few ways to begin. 1. Mindful breathing. Sit quietly and focus on your breath. Notice the air entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back to your breath. 2. Mindful walking. While walking, pay attention to each step, the feeling of your feet touching the ground, the movement of your body. Walk slowly, as if every step is a small miracle. 3. Mindful eating. Instead of eating quickly, slow down. Taste every bite. Appreciate the smell, the flavor, the nourishment food gives you. 4. Mindful listening. When someone speaks, don't plan your reply. Just listen fully with presence. This not only calms your mind, but also strengthens relationships. Mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring problems or escaping reality. It means facing life with clarity. For example, if you are angry, mindfulness helps you notice, I feel heat in my chest. My heart is racing. I want to shout. By observing, instead of reacting, you gain control over your emotions. You become the master, not the slave, of your feelings. Scientific studies show that mindfulness reduces stress, improves focus, and even strengthens the immune system. That's why schools, companies, and even hospitals now teach it. But the real gift of mindfulness is peace. When you are present, life becomes lighter. The small things, sunlight through a window, laughter of a child, the sound of rain, bring joy that you might have missed before. In short, mindfulness is a simple but life-changing habit. It teaches you that peace is not found in the past or future. It is found right here, right now. When you learn to stay present, you stop being controlled by regrets and fears, and you begin to truly live. Sixth, write down your feelings, journaling. Sometimes emotions feel too heavy to carry inside. Thoughts keep spinning in your head, worries, anger, sadness, or even joy, and they refuse to let you rest. When you don't release them, they pile up like clutter in a room, making your mind feel messy and overwhelmed. One of the most powerful and healing ways to clear that clutter is to write down your feelings. This practice is called journaling. Journaling is not about being a perfect writer. It's not about grammar, spelling, or beautiful words. It's simply about giving your thoughts a safe place to live outside your mind. When you put your emotions on paper, you separate yourself from them. You can look at them with more clarity, instead of being trapped inside them. For example, if you feel anxious, writing down exactly what is worrying you often makes it less scary. Your mind says, "This is too much." But when you see the words on paper, you realize, "This is something I can handle." Writing transforms vague fears into something concrete. And once it's concrete, you can face it. Here's how you can start journaling for emotional control. 1. Set aside time. Just 10 minutes a day is enough. Choose a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. 2. Write freely. Don't try to impress anyone. Write as if no one will ever read it. Be honest, raw, and real. 3. Name your emotions. Instead of just saying, "I feel bad," be specific. "I feel angry because my friend ignored me," or "I feel nervous about tomorrow's meeting." Naming emotions reduces their power. 4. Ask yourself questions. Why do I feel this way? What can I learn from this? What can I do differently? Writing helps you find solutions, not just problems. 5. End with gratitude. Even if your day was hard, write down at least one thing you are thankful for. This shifts your mind toward positivity. Many successful people have used journaling as a tool. Leaders, authors, and thinkers kept journals to process their struggles and ideas. For example, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote down his reflections every night. Those writings became his guide to wisdom and calmness. The beauty of journaling is that it gives you perspective. When you look back at old entries, you often realize that problems you once thought were impossible have already passed. It reminds you that feelings are temporary, but lessons are permanent. Journaling is also like talking to a best friend who never interrupts or judges you. It gives you the freedom to express what you can't always say out loud. That release is healing. It lightens the emotional weight you carry. In short, writing down your feelings is more than just putting words on paper. It is a form of self-therapy, a mirror for your soul, and a tool for emotional freedom. When your mind feels heavy, let your pen carry the weight. The more you practice journaling, the more peace and clarity you bring into your life. 7th, set emotional boundaries. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with certain people? Maybe they constantly complain, criticize, or expect too much from you. Or perhaps you find yourself saying yes when deep inside you want to say no. This happens because you haven't set clear emotional boundaries. Without boundaries, other people's moods and demands can easily control your emotions, leaving you tired, frustrated, and even resentful. Emotional boundaries are like invisible lines that protect your mental and emotional well-being. They define what you will and will not accept in your relationships. Just like you lock your front door to protect your home, you need to set boundaries to protect your peace of mind. For example, if a friend always calls you late at night to unload their problems, you can gently set a boundary by saying, "I care about you, but I can't take calls this late. Let's talk during the day." At first, it may feel uncomfortable to say no. But remember, saying no to others often means saying yes to yourself. Yes to your peace, your health, and your happiness. Here are a few ways to practice setting emotional boundaries. 1. Know your limits. Spend time reflecting on what drains you and what feels healthy. If gossip, constant negativity, or disrespect affects you, that's where you need a boundary. 2. Communicate clearly. Be honest and direct. You don't have to be rude. Kind but firm words are enough. Example: I can't talk about this right now, but we can discuss it tomorrow. 3. Don't feel guilty. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear disappointing others. But protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary for your emotional health. 4. Be consistent. If you set a boundary once but don't stick to it, people will ignore it. Stay firm, and over time, others will learn to respect it. Setting boundaries also means not taking responsibility for other people's emotions. For instance, if someone gets angry because you didn't meet their unreasonable demand, that anger belongs to them, not you. You cannot control how others feel, but you can control how much of their emotions you allow into your space. Boundaries also apply to technology and work. If you are always answering work emails late at night, you are allowing your job to invade your personal life. A healthy boundary might be turning off notifications after a certain hour. This gives your mind time to rest and recharge. When you set emotional boundaries, you create room for healthier relationships. People will respect you more because they know where you stand. Most importantly, you respect yourself. You teach others how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. In short, setting emotional boundaries is about protecting your inner world. It's about realizing that your peace is precious and not everyone should have access to it. The more you practice boundaries, the stronger, calmer, and more in control you will feel. 8th, practice gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's missing in life. Money we don't have, goals we haven't achieved, mistakes we made, or opportunities we lost. The mind often magnifies problems while ignoring blessings. This habit creates frustration, stress, and unhappiness. But there is one simple yet life-changing practice that can completely shift your emotions: gratitude. Gratitude means recognizing and appreciating the good things in your life, no matter how small they are. It could be as simple as having clean water, being able to walk, hearing a bird sing, or receiving a kind smile. When you choose gratitude, you train your mind to focus on abundance instead of lack. And whatever you focus on grows. Psychologists have found that gratitude has powerful emotional benefits. It reduces stress, improves sleep, strengthens relationships, and increases overall happiness. Why? Because gratitude changes the way your brain works. Instead of being trapped in fear or anger, your mind learns to notice beauty, kindness, and blessings around you. Here are a few simple ways to practice gratitude. 1. Keep a gratitude journal. Every night, write down 3 things you are thankful for. Some days it may be big, like getting a promotion. Other days it may be small, like enjoying a warm cup of tea. Both matter equally. 2. Say thank you more often. Express appreciation to the people in your life. Tell your parents, friends, or co-workers that you value them. Gratitude grows stronger when it is shared. 3. Shift your perspective. When faced with difficulties, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Even struggles can become blessings when they teach us strength and patience. 4. Start your day with gratitude. Before getting out of bed, think of one thing you are grateful for. This sets a positive tone for the whole day. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for controlling emotions. Imagine you had a bad day at work. Your mind wants to replay every negative detail. But if you pause and list a few things you're grateful for, like having supportive family, a safe home, or good health, you'll notice your anger softening. Gratitude doesn't erase problems, but it gives you strength to face them with a calmer heart. Even in the darkest times, gratitude can bring light. History shows countless people who practiced gratitude even in hardship. For example, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote about finding meaning and small moments of gratitude even in a concentration camp. His gratitude for little things, like sharing bread or seeing the sunrise, gave him hope and emotional strength to survive. The truth is, gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a choice. You can choose to focus on what's wrong, or you can choose to see what's right. Life will never be perfect, but gratitude makes it beautiful. In short, gratitude is like a lens that changes the way you see the world. When you practice it daily, your heart becomes lighter, your emotions more stable, and your mind more peaceful. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your life. 9th, exercise regularly. When people think of exercise, they often picture building muscles, losing weight, or staying fit physically. But what many forget is that exercise is just as important for the mind and emotions as it is for the body. Regular movement doesn't just make you stronger on the outside, it makes you calmer, happier, and more in control on the inside. When you exercise, your body releases chemicals called endorphins, often called happy hormones. These natural chemicals act like medicine for the mind. They reduce stress, lift your mood, and even relieve pain. That's why after a good walk, jog, or workout, you feel lighter, more positive, and less burdened by worries. Exercise also lowers the stress hormone cortisol. When you are anxious or angry, your body fills with cortisol, making your heart race and your thoughts restless. But when you move your body, you burn off that stress, and your nervous system begins to relax. In other words, exercise clears away emotional noise and brings mental clarity. Here are a few ways exercise helps control your emotions. 1. Reduces anger and frustration. Instead of shouting or overthinking when you're upset, go for a run or do push-ups. Physical movement releases tension that would otherwise explode as anger. 2. Fights anxiety and depression. Studies show that regular exercise is as effective as medication for mild depression. Moving your body changes your brain chemistry in a way that naturally lifts your mood. 3. Boosts confidence. When you exercise, you not only feel stronger, you also build self-respect. That confidence translates into better emotional control in difficult situations. 4. Improves sleep. A good workout helps your body rest better at night. And when you sleep well, your emotions are easier to manage the next day. The good news is, you don't need to become a professional athlete to benefit. Simple activities are enough. A 20-minute walk in the park, a short yoga session, or even dancing in your room can calm your emotions. The key is consistency, doing it regularly, not just once in a while. Exercise also gives you something important, a break for your mind. Imagine you had a stressful day at work. Instead of sitting and replaying problems, you go for a bike ride. As your legs move and your breathing deepens, your thoughts shift. Problems seem smaller, solutions clearer. Exercise works like a reset button for your mind. Many successful people include exercise in their daily routines, not only for physical health, but also for mental strength. They know that a strong body supports a strong mind. Of course, starting can feel difficult, especially when you're tired or sad. But remember this, you don't have to feel good to move, you move to feel good. The first step may be hard, but once you begin, the energy and emotional relief will follow. In short, exercise is not just about fitness, it is about freedom. Freedom from stress, from negative emotions, and from mental clutter. When you move your body, you move your emotions too, toward balance, peace, and strength. 10th, get enough sleep. Think about the last time you didn't sleep well. How did you feel the next day? Probably tired, irritable, and easily upset. Even small problems seemed bigger, and your patience was much shorter. That's because sleep and emotions are deeply connected. Without enough rest, your brain struggles to manage feelings, and you lose control over your reactions. Sleep is not just about resting the body, it is about recharging the mind. While you sleep, your brain processes emotions, repairs stress damage, and restores balance to your nervous system. It's like pressing the reset button on your mood. Without this reset, your mind becomes cluttered, making it harder to stay calm, focused, and positive. Studies show that lack of sleep increases activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain that triggers fear and anger. At the same time, it weakens the prefrontal cortex, the part that helps you think clearly and make good decisions. This means poor sleep makes you more emotional and less rational. You get angry faster, cry more easily, and feel more anxious. Here are a few emotional benefits of getting enough sleep. 1. Better mood control. With proper rest, you're less likely to snap at others or overreact. Your emotions become steadier. 2. Less anxiety. Sleep lowers stress hormones, making you calmer and more relaxed during the day. 3. Clearer thinking. A well-rested brain handles challenges better and sees solutions instead of only problems. 4. Stronger relationships. When you are rested, you listen better, show more patience, and connect more positively with others. But how much sleep is enough? For most adults, 7 to 9 hours per night is ideal. However, it's not just the number of hours that matters, it's also the quality of sleep. Tossing and turning doesn't give your brain the deep rest it needs. Here are a few ways to improve sleep for emotional balance. Create a routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This trains your body clock. Limit screens at night. The blue light from phones and TVs tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, making it harder to sleep. Make your space peaceful. Keep your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. A calm environment helps your mind relax. Avoid caffeine late in the day. Coffee, tea, or energy drinks in the evening can keep your brain awake longer than you think. Wind down before bed. Read, meditate, or do light stretches instead of scrolling on your phone. Sleep is often treated as a luxury, but in truth, it is a necessity. Without it, emotional control becomes almost impossible. With it, challenges feel lighter, your patience grows stronger, and your heart feels calmer. In short, good sleep is emotional fuel. Just like your phone needs charging to work properly, your brain and emotions need rest to function well. Never underestimate the power of sleep. It may be the simplest but most effective tool to control your mind and emotions. 11th, avoid overthinking. Have you ever stayed awake at night, replaying the same situation over and over in your mind? Maybe it was something you said to a friend, a mistake at work, or a decision you couldn't make. That endless cycle of thoughts is called overthinking, and it is one of the biggest enemies of peace. Overthinking doesn't solve problems, it magnifies them. The more you think, the bigger and scarier the problem looks. What starts as a small worry becomes a storm in your head. Instead of giving you clarity, it steals your energy, focus, and happiness. Why does overthinking feel so heavy? Because the brain is trying to control something it cannot always control. The future, other people's reactions, or the past that cannot be changed. You replay scenarios, imagine the worst outcomes, and trap yourself in a loop of fear and doubt. But here's the truth. Most of the things you worry about never happen. Studies show that almost 85% of our fears don't come true. That means much of our stress is wasted energy. So, how do you break free from overthinking? Here are some practical and emotional steps. 1. Catch the thought. The first step is awareness. When you notice your mind going in circles, pause and say to yourself, I am overthinking. Naming it gives you power over it. 2. Ask, can I control this? If the answer is yes, then take action. If the answer is no, let it go. Worrying about what you cannot control is like carrying a heavy bag for no reason. 3. Shift your focus. Instead of sitting with the same thought, do something that distracts you. Exercise, read, cook, or talk to a friend. Action breaks the cycle of thought. 4. Limit what-ifs. Overthinking often comes from asking too many what-if questions. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I regret this? Instead, ask, what if things go right? 5. Write it down. Journaling is powerful. When you put your thoughts on paper, your mind feels lighter. It's like transferring the weight from your head to the page. 6. Practice self-compassion. Many times, overthinking comes from being too hard on yourself. Remind yourself that mistakes are human, and you don't need to be perfect. Emotionally, avoiding overthinking means choosing peace over pressure. It means learning to trust life a little more and realizing you don't need to have all the answers today. Think of your mind like a garden. If you water weeds, negative thoughts, every day they will grow and take over. But if you water flowers, positive, useful thoughts, your mind will bloom. Overthinking is like watering weeds, pointless and harmful. When you stop overthinking, you free yourself to live. You gain energy, clarity, and emotional balance. You start making decisions with confidence instead of fear. And most importantly, you learn to enjoy the present moment instead of losing it to endless worry. So the next time your mind starts spinning, remember this simple truth. Overthinking doesn't change tomorrow, it only steals today. 12th, surround yourself with positive people. Have you ever noticed how some people make you feel lighter, happier, and more motivated, while others drain your energy, leaving you stressed and discouraged? That's the power of the people around you. The truth is, the people you spend time with directly shape your thoughts, emotions, and even your future. When you surround yourself with negative, toxic people, you start absorbing their doubts, fears, and complaints. You begin to see the world through their lens, and slowly, without realizing it, you become like them. On the other hand, when you are around positive, uplifting people, they inspire you to believe in yourself, chase your dreams, and keep going even when life is hard. There's a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This means if you spend time with people who are always complaining, gossiping, or blaming others, you will also develop those habits. But if you surround yourself with people who are motivated, kind, supportive, and growth-minded, you will naturally rise to their level. So why are positive people so powerful? Because they create an environment of hope and encouragement. They remind you of your strengths when you forget them. They celebrate your success instead of feeling jealous. They listen to you when you're struggling and give advice that lifts you up instead of pulling you down. Here are a few practical ways to start surrounding yourself with positive people. 1. Identify your circle. Look at the people you spend the most time with. Do they make you feel inspired and happy, or do they bring negativity and stress? Be honest about how each person affects your energy. 2. Choose energy givers, not energy takers. Spend more time with people who encourage you, believe in you, and make you feel alive. Limit time with those who constantly criticize or drain you. 3. Find mentors and role models. Positive people aren't always just friends. They can be mentors, teachers, or even authors and speakers whose work inspires you. Follow people who make you want to be better. 4. Be the positive person. Remember, positivity is a two-way street. If you want to attract uplifting people, you must also bring kindness, encouragement, and hope into their lives. 5. Create a support system. Build a circle of people who share your values, goals, and dreams. Together, you will push each other to grow and overcome challenges. Emotionally, surrounding yourself with positive people feels like walking into the sunlight after being in the dark. They give you warmth, clarity, and strength. They remind you that you are not alone and that better days are always ahead. Life is too short to spend with people who bring you down. Protect your mind, protect your heart, and protect your future by choosing wisely who stands beside you. Remember this: your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you live in negativity, even the strongest mindset will struggle. But if you live in positivity, even your weakest moments will feel lighter. So choose carefully. Surround yourself with people who see the best in you, believe in your potential, and push you toward becoming the person you were meant to be. 13th, take care of your physical health. Your mind and emotions are deeply connected to your body. If your body is weak, tired, or neglected, your thoughts and feelings will suffer too. That's why one of the most powerful ways to control your mind and emotions is to take care of your physical health. Think about it. When you are sick, exhausted, or full of junk food, do you feel patient, calm, and motivated? Probably not. Instead, you feel irritated, anxious, or even hopeless. But when your body is healthy, when you've eaten well, exercised, and rested, you feel stronger, more confident, and in control of your emotions. Taking care of your body is not about vanity. It's about survival and growth. Your body is the home of your mind and soul. If you don't look after it, everything else falls apart. Here are some key ways to improve your physical health and, as a result, your mental well-being. 1. Eat nutritious food. What you eat fuels your brain. If you live on processed food, sugar, and unhealthy fats, your energy will crash and your mood will follow. But when you eat fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, your body feels nourished and your mind becomes sharper and calmer. 2. Exercise regularly. Moving your body is one of the fastest ways to release stress and improve your mood. Exercise produces endorphins, happy chemicals that fight sadness and anxiety. You don't need a gym membership. Even a 30-minute walk every day can change your life. 3. Get enough sleep. Lack of sleep is one of the biggest reasons people feel angry, anxious, and unfocused. When you rest properly, your brain processes emotions better, and you wake up with a clearer, more positive mind. 4. Stay hydrated. Water might seem simple, but dehydration affects your mood, focus, and energy levels. Drink enough water daily to keep your body and brain working at their best. 5. Avoid toxic habits. Smoking, excessive drinking, and overuse of unhealthy substances damage not only your body, but also your emotional balance. Replacing them with healthier habits can transform your life. But caring for your physical health goes beyond routine. It's also about respect. Respect your body because it carries you through every challenge. Respect it because without health, no dream can be achieved and no happiness can last. Emotionally, when you start taking care of your health, you feel proud. You look in the mirror and see someone who values themselves. That pride builds confidence. And confidence gives you the power to manage stress, fear, and doubt. Remember, your body and mind are like a team. If one is weak, the other struggles. But when your body is strong, your mind becomes clearer, calmer, and more resilient. So take care of yourself. Eat well, move often, rest enough, and treat your body like the priceless gift it is. Because when your body is healthy, your emotions are steady, and your mind becomes unstoppable. 14th, learn to accept what you cannot control. One of the hardest lessons in life is this: you cannot control everything. You cannot control the weather, other people's actions, the past, or even certain future events. But what you can always control is how you respond to those things. Many people spend their lives fighting battles they cannot win. They get angry when others don't behave the way they expect. They feel anxious when life doesn't go according to plan. They hold on to regrets about the past or fear about the future. And all of this suffering comes from trying to control what is uncontrollable. Acceptance is not weakness. It is strength. It means saying, "This is outside of my hands, but I will focus on what I can do." Instead of wasting energy on things you cannot change, you direct that energy toward things that matter: your actions, your mindset, your choices. For example, you cannot control if someone criticizes you, but you can control how you respond, whether you get defensive or choose to stay calm and confident. You cannot control if life throws unexpected challenges at you, but you can control your attitude, whether you break down or rise stronger. You cannot control the past, but you can control how you use its lessons to build a better future. This shift in thinking gives you incredible emotional freedom. When you stop fighting the things you cannot change, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop wasting energy on anger, stress, and frustration. Instead, you gain peace of mind and clarity. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents something you cannot control: someone's opinion, a past mistake, a failed plan. The more you carry, the heavier your life feels. But the moment you drop those stones, your journey becomes lighter. Acceptance is exactly like dropping those stones. Now, acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop trying to improve your life. It simply means knowing where to put your focus. You let go of the things that are beyond your reach, and you concentrate on the things you can influence. Here are some practical steps to practice acceptance. 1. Identify what's in your control. Ask yourself, can I do something about this? If the answer is yes, take action. If no, let it go. 2. Shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? 3. Practice letting go. When thoughts of the past or worries of the future arise, remind yourself, this is not in my control. I release it. 4. Focus on gratitude. Accept what you cannot change and appreciate what you still have. When you embrace this mindset, your emotions become calmer, your stress decreases, and your inner strength grows. Life feels lighter. Remember, peace does not come from controlling everything. It comes from accepting what you cannot change and focusing on what you can. 15th, practice self-discipline. If there is one skill that can completely transform your life, it is self-discipline. It is the ability to control your actions, your habits, and your choices, even when emotions try to pull you in the opposite direction. Think about it. Emotions are powerful. When you're angry, you may want to shout. When you're sad, you may want to give up. When you're tempted, you may want to quit your healthy routine. But self-discipline is that inner voice that says, wait, think, choose wisely. It is like a muscle that holds you steady when your emotions try to drag you away. Self-discipline is not about being harsh on yourself. It's about creating freedom. For example, when you have the discipline to control your spending, you gain financial freedom. When you have the discipline to exercise and eat well, you gain freedom from health problems. When you have the discipline to manage your time, you gain freedom to pursue your dreams. Without discipline, emotions will rule your life. You will eat when you're stressed, speak harshly when you're angry, or procrastinate when you're lazy. But with discipline, you rise above those temporary feelings and make choices that serve your future self. So, how do you build self-discipline? 1. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Begin with simple habits like waking up 10 minutes earlier, limiting social media, or drinking more water. Small wins build confidence. 2. Create routines. Emotions are unpredictable, but routines give structure. For example, if you decide that every morning you'll exercise for 15 minutes, it becomes automatic. Your emotions no longer decide for you. 3. Delay gratification. Train your mind to wait. When you want instant pleasure, remind yourself of the bigger reward that comes from patience and effort, like saving money instead of spending it, or studying now to succeed later. 4. Hold yourself accountable. Write down your goals, track your progress, and don't make excuses. Discipline grows when you stay true to your word. 5. Forgive slip-ups, but keep going. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about consistency. If you fall, stand up again and move forward. Self-discipline also strengthens your emotions. When you control your habits, you gain more confidence, pride, and self-respect. You feel stronger because you are not a slave to impulses anymore. You are the master of your life. Think of discipline like the steering wheel of a car. Without it, emotions are like wild horses dragging you anywhere. But with discipline, you hold the wheel firmly, guiding yourself toward the life you truly want. In the end, success in every area, health, relationships, career, or personal growth, depends on self-discipline. Motivation may push you for a day, but discipline keeps you going for a lifetime. So, remind yourself every day, I choose discipline over distraction. I choose growth over comfort. I choose my future over temporary feelings. That is the power of self-discipline, the final step in mastering your mind and emotions.